Hey, what's going on, everyone? What's going on? This is Chris Thompson, one half of that dynamic duo that's promoter for the Phoenician Classic. We're officially 17 weeks out from the Phoenician Classic, and then give me a second here. I'm just cleaning up my little peepers here. Get my peepers cleaned up here so I can actually see my computer screen, man. You know, That's what happens when you get a little older. You need some glasses to see the computer screen. So, man, we're 17 weeks out from the Phoenician Classic. Registration is open. One thing that's a little bit different about the Phoenician Classic this year is that we have two pro classes. We have Pro Bikini and Pro Men's Physique. And if you're out there and you're thinking about turning pro, before the Phoenician Classic, you want to compete in the Phoenician Classic as a pro inside of men's physique or women's bikini, there's a couple of great shows that's going down before the Phoenician Classic. June 12th, Inbf Columbia Classic going down to Seattle, Washington. I'll be I'll be at that show. So if you want to meet me in person, I will be there to give you opportunity if you want to sit down, chit chat with me. Man, I'm more than happy to sit down and answer questions with you and just chop it up with you and get to know you a little bit better. So I will be there June 12th at the Inbf Columbia Classic in Seattle, Washington. Next show is June 19th, Inbf Tulsa Natural. That's going on in Tulsa, Oklahoma. July 17th is the Inbf SoCal Uproar. That is going down in San Diego, California. I'll be in attendance at that show as well. So yeah, if you want to, like I said, I'm always open. If you want to sit down, chop it up with me, and just have some conversation, have a good time, man. I will be there. I'll be there in person. So don't hesitate to walk up to me and just say, "Hey, Chris," or Phoenician Classic. You're the guy that does Phoenician Classic, and I'll look at, yeah, that's me. What's your IG handle? And then we'll chop it up from there. So that's July 17th at the SoCal Uproar in San Diego. Next show is July 24th, the Inbf Cecil Phillips Classic going down in Eugene, Oregon. Another great show up in Eugene. August 7th is the Inbf Oklahoma City Classic going down in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And then August 21st is the Inbf Natural Central Valley Championship going down in Fresno, California. I'll be in attendance at that show as well. So don't hesitate to come up to me, ask questions. That'll be 2 weeks out from the Phoenician Classic. And the last show before the Phoenician Classic is August 28th. The Inbf South Central USA in Dallas, Texas. So if you turn pro in bikini or men's physique at any of those shows before the Phoenician Classic, you will be eligible to compete as a pro at the Phoenician Classic. Look like I just got a notification of some really great news. I got a real special guest coming on here shortly. That's man, you guys are gonna want to love to hear from. Like I had to like jump through some hurdles. I had to pull some strings. I had to do a bunch of stuff. But man, I got a real special guest that's gonna come on here shortly. That I'm gonna have a chit chat with, and think you guys are gonna be looking forward to hearing from this guest. So just stay hanging there with me. I think he just gave me like a 2-minute warning here that he'll be ready in like 2 minutes or so. So just hang in there. Far as updates with the Phoenician Classic, updates with the Phoenician Classic as of right now. Like I said, registration is open. I'm still waiting on to get these freaking links from my vendors so I can get everything updated with their links. So that way when you guys click on and stuff, everything works properly for you guys. Let's see here. One last thing here. Let's see here. And I got everything squared away with my man Jim with Big AZ Tents. So tents will be all set up and good to go. And then I gotta finish having a chit chat with the host hotel and get everything squared away with that so I can have a link for the host hotel. Other than that, man, like we got like only one real thing left to do, and then that's just to go ahead and wrap up and complete our contract with the venue. And only holdup is that my contact is on vacation right now, so I just gotta wait for my contact to get back, and then we're good to go. Like the show's up and ready. We're ready to rock and roll for you guys, and everything is in place. Everything is ready to go. We're just waiting on you guys to go ahead and do your registration, and man, and then we're off to the races. We are off to the races. Phoenician Classic is a program show, so not only do we have the 2 pro classes of men's physique and women's bikini, we also have all of the amateur divisions. All right, so we have men's bodybuilding, men's physique, amateurs. We have women's bodybuilding, women's misfit body, women's figure, and bikini. So we have all of the amateur classes, all of the amateur categories, I should say. And then we got those bad boys broken up into classes. As far as bodybuilding, masters, open, and novice. And some of them, we do have some senior master classes depending on the category that we got everything set up. I had a really great question earlier this week as far as like how somebody wanted to know if men's physique was broken up into weight classes, and the only divisions that are broken up into weight classes is bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is the only, whether it's men's or women's bodybuilding, that's the only one that's broken up into weight classes. All of the other ones are broken up into height. So like bikini is by height, bikini, women's figure is by height. Let's see here, men's physique is by height, misfit body is by height. Everything else is broken up by height. The only one that's broken up by weight class is bodybuilding. Men's and women's bodybuilding is the only categories that are broken up by weight class, where you actually have to step on the scale and get your weight. So we can break it up and see how how we're gonna break it up into light, middle, and heavyweight class as far as bodybuilding goes. But as far as the height classes, how we break it up by height, what we tend to do here is once we get everyone registered and get their height, and we verify their height at the polygraph. Once we verify everyone's height at the polygraph, then we break it up. Start breaking everyone up into their individual groups. And the reason when is because we want to try to make sure that what we're trying to do is to make sure that when we break these classes up and by the height is that we want to make sure that we have the right amount of people at this certain height. So that way we don't have one person that's say that's 5'5" in a class with somebody that's 5'6". All right. If we got 7 people that's all 5'3" and below, well, we want to keep those people together so that way when the judges are judging, it makes it that much more easier for us comparing, being able to compare the bodies that's on stage. So that way everyone gets a fair look. Another great question I had was someone wanted to know about posing, about posing and what are the requirements and things like that. So before I really, really dive deep into posing and dive deep into the requirements, into each one, my special guest that I'm bringing on, we're going to dive into that. We're going to chit chat about posing. We're going to chit chat about mandatory posing for each class. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into that and touch base on that because the WNBF just posted up the posing criteria for each class. So they put out some criteria for each class, what judges will be looking for in each class. And looks like we're going to dive in here. We're going to dive in. Just right when I was talking about posing, what do you know? We're going to dive in right now with the myth, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Bob Bell, the vice president of the WNBF. He's going to dive in here and chit chat with me about posing and then the posing criteria for each class. And so we're going to take about 10-15 minutes of his time so he can kind of break this stuff down here for us and to give you guys a little bit more insight about what the judges with the WNBF will be looking for each class. What's going on, Bob?
How you doing, Chris?
Not too much, brother.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. You sound good, man. You're in your truck. What you doing in your truck?
Just taking a little break from my regular, 8 to 3:30 job.
So let me get this right. Hold on. What are you doing from 8 to 3:30? Like you have a normal job?
Yeah, it's not all the WNBF, which we love, but I teach adaptive physical education for a school district here. I'm actually at the venue where the National Muscle Mayhem is, which will be in October this year.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's my day-to-day job. I also coach Division I football here at a local high school, and then the bodybuilding, the WNBF on top of it. So we're pretty busy, but hey, enough about me. I'm glad to be here with you.
Oh man, appreciate you taking it like 10 to 15 minutes after a day to actually come on and chit chat with me right quick. What I want to do is just touch base real quick about, because you put out some criteria for posing for each class, to kind of like give everybody a little bit of clarity as far as like if they're planning on doing a WNBF or INBF show this year. Like you put out some posing criteria that provides a little bit more clarity for competitors as well as judges like myself that are going to be judging competitors about. What I want to do is just touch base with you about each class real quick, about the judging criteria that you're looking for as far as head judges and judges in general, so that way coaches, head judges, athletes, so that we're all on the same page about what we should be looking for when we're judging, as far as what WNBF is looking for, as far as in each class that a competitor is competing in.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a super important piece of any athlete's preparation. You know, a lot of us cross over into other organizations. The judging panel and the organization looks for very different things. So before anyone ever competes in the INBF or the WNBF, you know, please go ahead and take a look at the website, look at our social media. Make sure you know exactly what the judging criteria is, because that's what the judges are looking for. So, you know, a lot of people always ask, maybe I didn't do as well as I wanted to, but it just depends on what the judges are looking for. This is not subjectivity. It's very objective. We have specific guidelines, rules, criteria that we're looking for. So if you don't know what that is and you come on stage and you know, do a double bicep pose, for example, in the men's physique division, you're not going to do very well. So know the criteria, practice the criteria with your coach or on your own. You can always reach out to us via our website or social media, ask us questions. But is there a certain category that you want to ask about or talk about? Or again, for all the people that are watching, you know, hop over to our website, worldnaturalbb.com, or click the link in our bio. Go over to the judging criteria link on the website and take a look at that. Or just go to our Instagram page. Our last post was all the judging criteria, and most of our affiliates and our promoters throughout the United States have shared that. So, you know, by the time you end up on stage, you know, especially if it's in September at the Phoenician Pro-Am, you should really know what you're doing on stage so that you do your best.
Absolutely. So the only two classes I really want to touch base on that everyone has a little bit of confusion on is men's physique and women's bikini. Those are like the two classes that we have. Those are two classes that we have the most, I should say, conflict with.
Confusion, because
major confusion with those two classes. So I think let's touch with the men's physique first. First, judging. What is it? What physique, what posing are we looking for inside of that division?
So we're looking obviously at symmetry and your overall muscle tone and your appearance, your stage presentation, all of that. You know, good tanning, you know, good suit choice. Your suit choice should look good on you. It shouldn't just be some crazy suit that you just went out and bought at a surf store. You should make sure that you look good in that suit. It is part of your presentation, part of your score. So that is determined, you know, by the judging panel. So we're looking for, you know, men's physique, that basically that V taper from the shoulders all the way down to the waist. You know, pronounced shoulders is good. Good arm development, good pec development. Sharp abs is fine. We don't want bodybuilders in men's physique. We want physique to be aesthetic. We want it to be less muscular than bodybuilding. And then again, your overall stage presentation from the time you walk out as a judge, Chris, you know, from the time you walk out on stage to the time you walk off, you got to be the best. Otherwise, you're not going to end up in that #1 place. Practice your posing. Everything should look natural on stage. The biggest thing this year is we really want to see on all the quarter turns for physique and bikini, we can talk about in a second, is one hand on the hip. It can be on either hip. You know, we see so many athletes that come out on stage, they're doing a front lat spread, 2 hands on the hips, or a rear lat spread from the back. And we want to have it aesthetically looking. We want it to be different from bodybuilding. So on the quarter turns for physique, all of them, one hand on the hip, If you want to display your symmetry for a second, that's fine, but you got to go back to one hand on the hip. If the judge asks you more than once or twice, you may find yourself sliding down, in terms of your position if you're not listening to the judging. So that's kind of what we're looking at for physique, the overall best package of who steps on stage, and that work hard. They're engaging with the judges, the audience. They're the ones that are going to do well in the physique category.
Awesome. Now, one thing you got on here where it says, as far as men's physique criteria from the side pose, it says poses should be held, excessive movements not preferred. Can you break that down for me?
Yeah. So there's some athletes that granted you're looking for the judge's attention, which is totally fine. But we want you to come out, we want you to hit your poses, and then we want you to freeze. We want you to give the judges a second to look at you. Too much excessive movement is really not good for you, and it's not really great for the judges who are scoring you, because we can't get a good look at you. Before you know it, the head judge says quarter turn to the right, you kind of lost out on that pose. So get in your side relaxed, or your side pose, your front pose, your back pose, whatever it is. A little bit of movement's fine, a little bit of a transition is fine, but get into your pose so we can judge you like everybody else. That's super important.
Awesome.
Again, no bodybuilding poses, Chris.
Okay, I was just about to touch base with you.
No bodybuilding poses. If the head judge does ask for a pose down, it is quarter turns. It is, you can walk on the stage, you can get set in your stance, but doing bodybuilding poses in a pose down for men's physique is not appropriate. It's not bodybuilding. And the same thing, we can talk about bikini, the same thing.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, that was one of my questions here, as far as men's physique, because I noticed that now when they do a pose down or something like that, it's been going to like bodybuilding poses. So I wanted to know, I wanted to touch base with you on that to see, hey, what do we consider a pose down for men's physique class?
Yeah, have fun with it. Walk to the other side of the stage. If you want to jump in front of someone and hit a side pose, that's great. But yeah, working on musculars, double bicep poses, the beach pose, whatever it is, that's for bodybuilding. So if you want to cross over, that's fine. But during a pose down for men's physique, it should be a quarter turn. It should be a side pose. It could be a back pose, whatever it is. A nice transition pose, that's fine. But then get back into the physique posing. Because remember, your overall presentation, especially in the overall, if you're not presenting better than the other person within the category, you're probably not going to get the nod on the overall presentation piece of the judging.
Absolutely. Okay, great. All right, now transitioning over into women's bikini. As far as women's bikini, what are we looking for as far as posing goes with women's bikini?
So the cool thing about the WNBF is that all of our categories, they all do quarter turns. So same thing with bikini, quarter turns all the way around. We're looking at their fitness, overall fitness and balance. That's the primary score. If you're really, really good in fitness and balance, you're probably going to do pretty well, unless you're tied with someone else. And then we look at your presentation, your hair, your makeup, your suit choice, embellishments, jewelry, things that accent your physique. So if you're really, really solid in the fitness and balance round, you're going to do pretty good. But remember, a lot of people, especially in the amateur divisions, don't practice their posing a lot, and that comes to kind of haunt them on stage, especially in an overall. And to all the pros out there, when we're looking for our pro classes, they're usually pretty stacked. You're going to have your time on stage, so I would definitely be prepared and be ready to present the best you can compared to everybody else on the stage. So, fitness and balance for bikini, overall presentation, quarter turns, one hand on the hip on the side poses, on the front pose, and then on the rear pose, it's fine to not do the hand on the hip. The hands can be placed forward on either the quadriceps or the hips so they can spread their lats forward nicely. We're always looking for good shape, good presentation. So squeezing your back that brings your scapula in does not really, it shows some level of muscle tone, but it's really not a symmetrical pose. And we're looking for good structure no matter what position you're in. So from the rear pose for the women, they can put their hands on their quadriceps, their hands on their hips, spread their elbows forward a little bit so their back is nice and flat. Okay. And then remember, for bikini, no bending over. That's really not appropriate. So the head judge should make sure that the athletes stand straight up and down. A little bit of forward flexion is fine, to see the hamstrings and to show the glutes inserting into the hamstrings. That's fine, and but no, not a lot of bending over. And then our rule is 6 to 12 inches on the foot placement. That's kind of a short distance, especially for a tall woman.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as those feet are within shoulder width, it's an appropriate spacing for the feet. And then the second option for a back pose, Chris, is we do offer that cross leg option for some women that don't feel comfortable with the straddle pose on stage. Sometimes relationships don't really like to see their partner if they're doing that. So that is another option. Some women really like it, and other women say I would never do that. So for the coaches that are listening, you can coach that both ways for INBF, WNBF shows.
Awesome.
Let's see, anything else for women's bikini? I think that's pretty much it. We covered it. One thing for bikini and for physique, when you come out in your front pose, when you initially come out on stage, or if you go around to your quarter turns, when you come to the front, we really want to see the feet facing forward. They don't have to be exact facing forward. There can be a little bit of lateral foot placement. That's fine. But we really want to see the feet facing forward. If you're instructed to do that and you don't listen, we will slide you down on the lineup. Okay, so that's super important. Listen to the judges. Always listen to the judges when you're on stage, so you know exactly what they're asking you to do, so you can perform your best.
Absolutely great. Yeah, that was going to be my next question for our feet placement in that front pose with bikini and business, because they tend to work at angles. They tend to work at an angle. So typically, a lot of times when they come out, they're already in the side pose versus
exactly from the front.
So basically, as far as facing the front, how should the foot placement be? Should both feet be facing forward and then with an angle, or is there a particular style of how the foot placement should be?
Slight lateral foot placement is fine, but if they're primarily facing forward, if we can see the hips from the front, we can see your number. You've seen ladies that have their hips to the side of the stage turning for the front pose.
Right.
For the side pose, your feet need to be facing sideways for physique and bikini. So on that side pose, your hips and your feet should be facing the side of the stage that you're pointing towards, and then twisting at the waist. For the judges and for the spectators and stuff. But from the front, a little bit of lateral placement, but primarily forward. Yes, that's what we want to see.
Awesome. Bob, thanks for taking 10 minutes out your day to break this down for coaches, athletes, judges like myself, and anybody else out there that's thinking about competing in the WNBF, INBF. We had a quick question from a gentleman right here. I think his name is Waddell.TDN. He wanted to know, I want to compete in your federation. Should I compete in INBF first or sign directly with the WNBF? Can you break down the difference between WNBF and INBF?
Yeah, the INBF is the International Natural Bodybuilding Federation, so it's the amateur affiliate of the WNBF. Everybody has to qualify through the INBF or one of our international affiliates to become a pro with the WNBF. So INBF Amateur, WNBF Pro. We are not an organization that takes anyone's pro cards. There's a lot of organizations that do that. We can't do that. I know this is an amateur, but still, anybody, even if someone had a non-tested organization's pro card, we will not take it. You got to start from the bottom. There's a lot of pros and other organizations that will not ever qualify with us. So we're proud to have that, that higher level of competitiveness within the organization. So start with the INBF. You'll have a great experience. Chris is an INBF promoter. I'm sure there's some other people on the call today that are promoters. Just a super quick shout out, Chris, to some of our promoters that have already had shows. So Rodney Hilaire in Georgia had the Iron Eagle Pro-Am. We had Missy Corrigan in South Carolina that just had her event. We have Veronica Mudge coming up, Veronica and Joseph Tahan on the East Coast in Utica. And then obviously you've been talking about everybody out here in the West. Katie Wayman White's coming up, her Pro-Am. Sorry, my allergies. It's been crazy windy in California. It's been windy. I'm happy to be here, but it's been windy in California.
I know. I'm just making them cry. I'm making them cry with all these answers.
I know. It's been such a good call. But yeah, Katie's coming up in Washington. So take a look at kt-productions.com, I believe is her website, or hop on Instagram and look for those shows. So a lot of really great things. We're super excited this year. You know, a lot of events didn't happen last year. Some of the states were able to
Yeah.
hold those. Another huge shout out to WNBF Taiwan. They had a massive event of almost 500 competitors. They polygraph tested every single person.
Nice.
They urine tested over 35 people, winners and random drug tests. We had an affiliate that didn't want to do that this year, so we asked them to please walk away from the organization. So we're going to keep that drug testing coming, Chris. We're
Absolutely.
serious about it. Every affiliate is on board with our drug testing policies, as is athletes here or promoters here in the States. So we're looking forward to having a great year. Hey, I got a couple minutes. We can take questions if you want. I'm
Okay,
happy to hang out
absolutely.
here.
Hey guys, if you
I
got any
see.
questions, please fire away in the comments. If you have questions for Bob, Vice President of the WNBF, you got questions, please fire away in the comments so that way we get your questions answered. So if there's
Yeah.
anything you have that you want, that's outside the realm of posing, like if you got questions, what questions you guys have? Let's hear. Do you guys do training and posing classes? What city and state are you in? Looks like somebody asked, do we do training and posing classes? It depends, like, far as training and posing go. Bob, do you guys do any training and posing in Sacramento at all?
We do. We don't
Okay.
have dates yet, but we do. But good question. A lot of our promoters do their own posing classes. So if you, whatever state you live in, go ahead and go down our event list and click on an event that's close to you. Send that promoter a message directly, and they will get back to you about if they're having some upcoming posing classes. Another super quick shout out to Nancy Andrews in the East Coast, the INBF Spring Mania, and then also the Northeast Classic coming up in June. Again, we talked about Katie. Robert Fulton has an awesome show in Connecticut. The South Shore Natural is in Massachusetts, and then we have the Tulsa Natural in the Midwest. A lot of really awesome shows. Some really great first year shows. One in Texas. So if there's a Texas athlete on the call or on the Instagram today, head over to our website. Go ahead and check out Javier in Texas in Dallas. We have that's the South Central USA, which you've talked about before, and then we got the Phoenician Pro-Am. Don't forget about that one. So lots of shows.
All right. Yeah, anybody from like Central US all the way to the West Coast, I mention those shows every time I get on because I'm trying to, like, what I do is I'm talking about shows that's in the area because I figure I'm talking to athletes around in my area. So far as I always mention, like, if you want to see the full listing, please go to please go to World Bodybuilding. Please go to
WorldNaturalBB.com.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. to get the full events listing. Okay, if you're in Scottsdale, Arizona, I put on a posing class. Like, if you want to come over to Fitness One on 35th Avenue in Union Hills Saturday at 10 a.m. And I put on a posing class there. So if you got questions and you want to know more about posing, stop in. I'm there every Saturday, 10 o'clock. And I'm running posing classes. So if you want to step in, step in. Mario, IFBB Pro. Any plans for classic physique division? Is there any place for that in natural bodybuilding world? So is there any plans in the works as far as with WNBF actually creating a classic physique division?
No, we're not going to do it, Mario. We think natural bodybuilding is classic physique. If you look at all of our posts on the WNBF page, I hashtag that in almost everything. But yeah, there's just really no reason for that. We're not an organization that is so massive like an untested organization that has to kind of split what they want their athletes to look like. All of our athletes look like classic physique competitors because they're drug free. So for us to make people choose between bodybuilding and classic physique, we just don't want to do that. I think that's going to further split up the sport itself. Men's physique took a lot from bodybuilding. No issue with men's physique, but a lot of those athletes did go that way and didn't cross over and come back. So we don't want to make a decision that could potentially hurt natural bodybuilding. So we're going to keep bodybuilding the way it is, and keep the trunks the way they are. And if athletes want to involve classic physique poses in their routines at night or after prejudge, that's fine. But so bring aspects of classic physique into your routine, and on your Instagram page and things of that nature. But yeah, just bodybuilding only.
Awesome. This here, Devin Mason wants to know, how do competitors qualify for the WNBF Worlds?
So this year, all athletes that place in the top five in an open division only can qualify for Worlds. Um, the pros that are listening, the pro requirements are the same. Compete one time this year. All former world championships, world champions, they can hop right into Worlds. But yeah, if you're an amateur and you miss the top five placing in the open, then give it another shot. We want athletes to compete. And, unlike other organizations that have their culminating event at the year, Worlds is super competitive. It's a very humbling stage for pros and for amateurs. So to just get qualified, we don't want you just to compete once and get qualified. Compete a couple times, get a hold of your diet, understand your condition, do the best you can, because Worlds can be very, very difficult, and you can look great, 6 weeks ago and then come to a world stage and it's really off par. So get qualified, but then hunker down and work hard to achieving your best physique for Las Vegas. The Worlds page will be up in the next few days. We're still finishing a couple things on the entry page or on the entry form. So we will get that up so people can start entering Worlds. The hotel is the Link Hotel and Casino. It's an awesome venue, Franco Theater. It's going to be great. So get qualified for Worlds at any of our shows. All of our pro shows, if you see them listed, they are amateur shows as well. So don't forget that. If you see pro, don't think that it's not an amateur show, because they're all amateur events they're all pro-ams.
Awesome. So, Devin, just to give you a little bit of clarification, like you can qualify for Worlds as an amateur or a pro. You have to be a WNBF pro to go to Worlds to compete as a pro. If you want to go there as an amateur, everyone you pretty much will have to place in the top five in the open class in order to qualify for Worlds, whether it's amateur or pro. So
the amateur qualifications are different. You got to be in the
okay.
top five in any amateur, IMBF amateur, not other organization. It has to be with us.
Thank you.
And then pros just have to compete. They don't have to play. There's not a placing for them. So they just need to compete. Our international pros do not have to qualify, except for the pros in Canada that have several options for shows here, or they have Canada events at the pro level too. So any international athlete as a pro does not have to qualify. Pros here have to compete once. Amateurs here have to compete and place in the top five of an open class.
Awesome.
There's only open at Worlds. There's no novice.
Okay.
So open only.
All right. I got Adam here. He said, how would one qualify for Worlds from Ireland now?
So we're hoping to have a great announcement about some Ireland information, but because we don't presently have an affiliate there, we are working on that. You can compete at Worlds without qualifying. So any athlete from any country where we do not have a WNBF affiliate established there, you're eligible to come here and compete. We can help write a visa request letter for you to try to get you here. So that request would just need to put through WNBF at worldnaturalbb.com, or you can shoot the email from our website. So Irish athletes are all welcome to compete here. You do not have to qualify.
Awesome. And then got one last question here from Polly Insane. She says, I'm a WNBF Italian athlete. My first bikini contest will take place in September. Any advice for me? I'm so excited to participate and give my all. So any advice for a first time bikini?
There's a lot of amazing athletes that come from Italy. They're always, placing in the top rankings at Worlds. So I would just say, keep motivated. I really hope that things in Italy continue to get better. I know you guys are, coming through a third or fourth or fifth wave of COVID. So be safe, train as much as you can, get in great condition, look at the criteria. Again, sometimes, athletes turn pro and they've never even looked at the criteria page. So with some of the European women, something that we are, trying to make sure that doesn't happen at Worlds is the bikini poses. In the criteria, we want that arm hanging to the side. We don't want an arm extended sideways into someone else's space. And that is a very popular way to pose in Europe within bikini and sometimes figure. But our bikini criteria should look very close to the last Instagram post that we made, where the arm is hanging to the side. A little bit of lateral arm placement is okay. But for women's bikini, just look at the criteria. work hard, and look at their criteria specifically, because we don't want you over hard, over conditioned, or over muscular. So bikini is the least muscular category that we have. So yeah, focus on the criteria, practice your posing, and come and have a great time in Las Vegas.
Awesome, awesome. And then one last question here from Joe.Tom_. If it's the first time that I compete, should I register to the INBF amateur competition at first, right? So he just wants to know, should he register for in the INBF amateur since it's his first time competing? So he registers
Yeah.
there first and then
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So
So yeah, so you got two ways you can do it. You can either go to the event page on our website, find the show that you want to do, reach out to the promoter, or enter online. Most of our shows you can do that. And then either before or after you enter, you can purchase your INBF card. So just go to the website. It says enter INBF. That's your amateur membership card that you'll buy. And then, hey, if you work hard and you're lucky enough, you'll turn pro, and then you can go purchase the WNBF card as well.
awesome, awesome. And then Bob, if you got like 2 more minutes, one last
Yep.
question. All right. So I get a ton of like questions as far as banned substance list, as far as banned substance list questions that I get either in my DM or I get through an email at PhoenicianClassic.com. Far as the banned substance list, can you give us just a quick overall overview of the banned substance list, as far as over-the-counter supplements and what exactly is on the banned substance list? Just a quick
So
overall.
obviously anything. I mean, really, the best thing to do is just go to the WADA website. Go to WADA's website. Look at their banned substance list, the WADA code. It's essentially our banned substances are essentially 99% the same. There's some stimulants that we don't ban, but be careful with the supplements that you choose. If you want to send us an email to our drug testing Gmail, you can do that. It's WNBFdrugtesting@gmail.com. But take a look at any supplement, look at it, read it first, compare that to the banned substance list so you're safe, so that you don't have issues when you come and sit down on that polygraph and have a problem. So no illegal drugs. Steroids, obviously, growth hormone, peptides. There's SARMs products are banned, DHEA is banned, 7-keto is banned. There's a long list. Just go to the website. Please take a look at that. Go to the wada.ama.org site. Look at their banned substance list, and if you can live by WADA's standards, then we have the same standards as WADA does, and we have a WADA compliant urinalysis test that all athletes obviously have to pass when they turn pro. So there's a lot of banned substances. Don't get yourself in trouble. If you have a trainer or a coach, please listen. Do not take their word of advice on supplements. You can listen to them, but you have to cross compare supplements yourself. There's a lot of situations that occur on polygraph exams because athletes don't know what they're using. Okay, so you need to know what you're consuming. You can't just take a supplement that your coach says, I've checked, this is okay. That's a great way to fail a urine test with us. So please make sure you know what you're doing. Look at your own supplements, compare them to the WADA list, to our list, and then you'll have peace of mind with all the choices that you make with supplements.
Awesome, awesome. And then let's see here. Looks like Daniel Glider. He wants to know, can I compete as an old WNBF pro from 2011?
Yeah, you have to. It's 2021, so there are situations where athletes can't compete for a couple of years. They keep their membership up to date. The big thing for us is we want to have drug tests on file from people. So if someone disappears for 10 years, that's just not gonna that just can't work for us. We appreciate you wanting to come back to the WNBF. We do have to ask people to requalify when it's been that long. We even had a promoter that asked the same question just not too long ago, and I had to tell him the same thing. We have to ask you to requalify. We just have standards and we have rules that we have to abide by. If we don't have standards or rules, then your organization's integrity falls apart, and we don't want that to happen to the WNBF. So, hey, requalify. It's going to be hard. Hey, you're getting older, so but stay after it. It's hard to qualify when you get up in age, but stay after it. And I hope to see you requalify, and then whoever it was, have them send me a direct message on Instagram and let me know that you qualified. That'll be exciting to hear.
Awesome, Daniel. So Daniel, you just gave us a shout out. Thanks for the question, Daniel. So you just heard Bob say, give him a shout out, man. Once you requalify, So I'm hoping to see you on stage myself and go ahead and make that happen. The last thing, I had one last question here, Bob. Someone wants to know, is Battle of the Bay taking place in October? Is that for beginners?
Yeah, yeah. Battle of the Bay is happening. If you've been to our shows or on our website, we have a link directing over to the new Battle of the Bay website. I think it's inbfbattleofthebay.com. That is WNBF pro Francisco Nzunza. He's hosting that now. We handed that show over to him. But yeah, that will be happening in near the Bay Area, and I think you can apply for that online right now. To the people that are wondering about our Muscle Mayhem site, we're working on our entry form too. We just had a couple issues with getting it with our web designer to get that up to date. But the Sacramento Natural Muscle Mayhem will be Pro-Am will be up for entries in the next couple days.
Awesome, awesome. And just to let you guys know, that's another show I'll be at as well.
Hey, well, you know what?
The shows, I can't tell. I'm not gonna blame it on anyone, Bob, but I'm just saying, like, I've been having to travel to all these shows now.
Yeah. Well, hey, and to anybody who wants to be involved in our events, just give us a shout out. Ask us if you can be involved, especially pros. We want pros to be involved, learn how to judge, come and support us backstage, have a good time. We really pride ourselves in having a good time at shows. We don't want a bunch of competitive garbage going on backstage with trainers or coaches or athletes or whatever. We want this to be a good, fun experience for everybody. But if you want to be involved, send us a message, send us an email, and we'd be happy to, put you to work, help them with anything, collecting tickets, selling t-shirts, helping tan athletes, whatever it is. We can never ask for enough support. And, for you, Chris, you've been an awesome judge for us the last couple of years. So thanks for, being willing to travel to the shows and judge. Because it's a super important part. Any athlete listening, you want great drug testing and you want great judging, and I believe that the INBF WNBF does the best job at that. We train our judges really, really significantly, and I want you guys to know that you're going to be given a fair shot when you're on stage at any of our shows. No politics, no favoritism, none of that. So I hope to see you on stage this year.
Absolutely. Bob, thanks a lot for your time, man. I really appreciate you coming on and providing some clarity with posing, providing some clarity with drug testing, providing some clarity with just inviting the WNBF pros just to come on and not inviting the pros, I should say, to get even more involved inside of the federation. So, man, thanks again for your time. Thanks a lot for your energy, and thanks for also giving me the opportunity to judge and promote. So I want to thank you. Just say thanks, man. I really appreciate your help.
You got it.
And really appreciate your tutelage.
You got it. Thanks for the exposure and for doing this, engaging people. And hopefully it's going to be a great year in the West, which, we didn't have a lot of shows last year. Some did happen in the East. So, anything everything that you're doing right here helps us all grow. And I appreciate your time too, Chris.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, my man. Get back to work. Help some kids get smart.
Hey, I just help them move and climb stairs and catch balls, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I have the best job in the world before and after going forward with the WNBF. So yeah, it's a good time.
Awesome,
all right, Chris.
Awesome.
Have a good rest of the day.
All right, take it easy, Bob.
All right, thanks for watching.
All right, guys, there you have it. I told you I had a special guest that was going to come on and give you guys some great info regarding the WNBF and posing, and we got some extra gems and some extra questions answered. So there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Phoenician Classic is happening September 4th, 2021. We're officially 17 weeks out from the show. Just go to the website, PhoenicianClassic.com. We got 2 pro divisions, pro bikini, pro men's physique, and all the other amateur classes. So, guys, thanks a lot for chiming in and getting your questions answered. If you have more questions and you got more concerns, please do not hesitate to drop a DM at the WNBF IG, or drop me a DM inside of Phoenician Classic, or shoot either one of us an email, and we'll get those questions answered for you. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good day.